Troops Alert.
Breaking news coverage of the ambushed shootings of 2 National Guards members on patrol in D.C. continues. We have a live look this morning at MedStar Hospital, where at least one of the wounded Guards members was taken. Both, we're told, are in critical condition, and both are from West Virginia. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. I'm Adriana Hopkins. This morning, we are learning more about one of those wounded soldiers. This is National Guards member Andrew Wolf. He is high school alma mater in West Virginia. Posted this statement saying, quote, "Our Appleman community is deeply saddened to learn that Musselman High School alumnus Andrew Wolf was one of the National Guardsmen injured in the shooting in Washington." They go on to share their grief for his family. Also responding to the shooting, President Trump and West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey. Take a listen.
This was an act of unspeakable violence. Our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers go out to the brave service members, their families, and the units who are enduring this terrible tragedy. Just know, we're going to keep working to make sure that justice is served.
I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price.
Well, the suspect has been identified and is in custody. He was injured and returned fire from the National Guard. Now, the shooting happened just blocks away from the White House on the eve of Thanksgiving. We go now to our John Gonzalez. He's live near 17th and I with what investigators are saying this morning and what this means for security in D.C. So, John, what are you learning this morning?
Well, Adriana, this is where it all unfolded right here behind me, right outside of the Farragut North Metro Station. All of the flashing lights, most of the cops have cleared the scene, but the footprint of violence still lingers. The glass panel that was shattered here at the bus shelter is still missing. You've got a lot of glass on the street. Investigators say the attack here was targeted, was fast and devastating. Police tell 7 News the chaos erupted at around 2:15 yesterday afternoon. 2 West Virginia National Guard troops shot in the head, both now in critical condition. And overnight, we've learned the suspect has been identified by law enforcement as 29-year-old Rahmanullah Lakanwal. Authorities stress they are still working to fully confirm his background and are digging deeper into any possible motives here. The suspect was quickly taken down after captured and, well, in what police are calling a back-and-forth gunfire. Overnight, major roadways around Connecticut Avenue, K Street here, even near the West Wing perimeter, remained locked down. All has pretty much reopened this morning as the investigation continues.
When a suspect came around the corner, raised his arm with a firearm and discharged it at the National Guard members.
This is a targeted shooting. One individual who appeared to target these guardsmen.
This is a domestic terrorist, and this is something that you just don't want to have happen or even dream to think happen, and it has. And so being close to it, seeing it, it's a conversation that's going to be happening at the tables tomorrow, especially in the DMV.
Local and federal leaders now demanding answers. Was this politically motivated? Was it part of something larger? And this morning, a new federal surge. 500 more Guard troops ordered into D.C. Much more on that coming up later this hour. Reporting live, John Gonzalez, 7 News.
And as mentioned, President Trump is ordering 500 more National Guard troops to D.C. in the wake of this attack. Now, 7 News spoke to a professor at George Washington University about the potential response to the additional troops coming to D.C. and the impacts that could have.
I think it will create a kind of narrative one way or the other. And to be honest, I think different sides, whether people support or oppose these National Guard deployments, different sides are going to use whatever information comes out to push their, to their advantage, right? They're going to push their narrative about whether this means that the Guard should not be here or whether there should be more Guard troops. So I guess my concern is that it's going to further fracture this already really difficult debate.
Breaking news, 2 National Guard members in critical condition after being shot in Northwest. Here's a live look right now at MedStar Washington, where at least 1 of the wounded soldiers were taken. Thanks for joining us here at 5:30. I'm Adriana Hopkins. This is one of the injured National Guards members, Andrew Wolf, on your screen here. His alma mater, Musselman High in West Virginia, shared their condolences. And this shooting was right near the White House at 17th and I Streets in Northwest. Also close by Farragut and Lafayette Squares, as well as the Smithsonian's Renwick Gallery. The area was packed, of course, with people here for the holiday. And this is the dramatic scene that played out on a sidewalk. Now, we have blurred out the Guard member lying there on the ground, but you can clearly see other law enforcement immediately giving CPR to that Guards member. And this morning, we're learning more about the suspect, who was also shot and wounded. Well, ABC News is identifying him as 29-year-old Rahmanullah Lakanwal. The Department of Homeland Security says he's an Afghan national who entered the U.S. back in September 2021. They say he came to the U.S. as part of a program called Operation Allies Welcome. Well, now President Trump is calling for a reinvestigation of all Afghans who enter the country under that program.
Of our country. This attack underscores the single greatest national security threat facing our nation. The last administration let in 20 million unknown and unvetted foreigners from all over the world, from places that you don't want to even know about. No country can tolerate such a risk to our very survival.
According to CNN, police ran the fingerprints of the man in custody, and that's how they got his name. Indications are he lives in Washington state. Well, the Operation Allies Welcome program was put into effect under the Biden administration back in 2021. It was started as U.S. troops withdrew from Afghanistan, and its goal was to help, quote, vulnerable Afghans settle in the U.S. The Department of Homeland Security said at the time it was screening and vetting the Afghans before they came here. However, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services says effective immediately, it will no longer process immigration requests from Afghans for an indefinite period of time. Now, in the wake of this shooting, the Trump administration is ordering 500 more National Guard troops to D.C. This comes amid an ongoing court fight over whether they're even allowed to operate here. Straight out now to 7 News' John Gonzalez. He is live downtown with the overnight developments. John, good morning.
Adriana, good morning. And this is a major escalation unfolding this morning right here in the heart of the nation's capital, just feet from the White House where this all happened. And the president, even though he wasn't at the White House at the time, he is wasting no time. The attack that critically wounded 2 National Guard soldiers has triggered a rapid, forceful response all across Washington by request from the president. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordering 500 additional National Guard troops into the district, troops who could begin arriving as early as this morning. The move comes as investigators confirm both soldiers shot in the head remain in critical condition. This new surge of troops lands in a city already in the middle of a legal war. Just days ago, a federal judge ruled the administration's deployment of more than 2,000 Guard members to D.C. was illegal, but the order is paused for 21 days, meaning those forces and now hundreds more can remain on the streets for now.
The shooter shot in a cowardly, dastardly act targeting the best of America. Heroes willing to serve in Washington, D.C., serve for people they don't know and they've never met because they love their country and their capital and their community.
For now, investigators this morning are working to determine if this gunman worked alone and why these National Guard troops were targeted. Reporting live downtown, John Gonzalez, 7 News.
Of course, we'll continue to bring you any new developments in this newscast and on our website, WJLA.com. Take out your phone and scan the QR code that'll pop up here on your screen. That'll take you to our homepage, where our digital team is working hard to keep you up to date. Happening at 9 o'clock this morning, we're expecting an update from officials. You can watch that live stream over on our website.